Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz here on this Wednesday. We're glad that you joined us wherever it is that you're tuning us in through charter or cable, through YouTube, through Facebook, whatever it is, whatever mode of operation you like. We're out there. We appreciate it. Thanks to Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation, and Sensa Green for air that is cool and clean. Call on Sensa Green. Proud of all of those partners here. Allows us to do the show each and every day. You can call us if you'd like as well. 256-234-6221. JJ, you and I don't get a chance to jump up here together very much.
No.
Usually it's the JJ and Andy show on Wednesday, but Andy had something to take care of, so I get to fill in. I get to come out of the bullpen for a change.
Yeah. You get to be the lead.
That's well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm leading, but we're gonna give it a shot. But anyway, a lot to talk about. I've been on the road the last couple of days. Most of you saw the podcast yesterday. We were down in Orange Beach shooting a lot of our On the Road show at Orange Beach High School, St. Paul's, and Gulf Shores. We made the trifecta, so we made it around to three of the high schools down there, and a lot to talk about on the podcast this morning. JJ talked about a top prospect here in the state, Tank Jones at St. Paul's, one of the top guys, number 2, according to 24/7. Sedarian Morgan right here in Allen City is the number 1 guy.
Yeah.
But Tank Jones, obviously highly touted, got offers from everybody, going to be able to pretty much name where he wants to end up going. But was able to sit down with him, had Faith sit down, do another episode of her On the Front Row show with him, and turned out great kid. I'll start with you on this. Alabama last year didn't have a single player in the top 15 on 24/7 in their recruiting class. And then so Auburn is the best Auburn's ever done the top 15. I think Auburn ended up having in the top 10 all but 2, Zion Grady and Neem Alford. The rest went to Auburn. That's uncommon to see that many. And then Kevin DeBoer still had a great recruiting class, but I think some people up there said, hey, man, we don't need to go 0 for 15 in state. Look, you had a good class, whatever. And vice versa for Auburn. You don't want to look up and see Alabama get 9 or 10 guys and you got none. And so Alabama's going to make a harder push this year. And
this is why coaching changes suck, right? I mean,
right.
And it doesn't matter when they happen or why they happen. A coaching change is tough. So you get Kalen DeBoer, who spent his whole career on the West Coast or close to the West Coast.
Right.
Most of his staff coming in new. He kept a couple of guys. He kept Freddie Roach and a couple of guys.
Sure.
Hired Kane Womack from South Alabama, hoping to maintain some in-state. But when you lose power recruiters with all those connections and relationships, it's tough, and it takes time to build those back up. I think if Kalen DeBoer does his job, he should get better in-state recruiting as time goes on. But that remains to be seen.
Yeah, I agree. I think again, it was a transition period. I thought on the flip side, Hugh Freeze made it a priority and is making it a priority to show everybody that the state of Alabama is important to Auburn, and that they're going to push hard. But when I look down at this list this year, there's only one guy that's committed anywhere, and it's an Alabama guy. It's number 5 in the state. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he's from Gadsden City. He's a cornerback. But, Sedarian Morgan, I think it'll be an Auburn and Alabama battle. Tank Jones, I think it'll be, perhaps an Auburn-Alabama battle, maybe something – there may be some other schools like a Texas A&M, an Oregon, some other guys that he's going to narrow that down. He told us yesterday he's going to narrow his colleges down.
Has Sedarian Morgan said when he's looking at a commitment?
July 2nd.
July 2nd, he's looking. So he's gonna announce commitment before the season.
That's right.
Okay.
And, that doesn't mean – I mean, I'm not saying Sedarian's commitment ain't going to stick wherever it is that he goes. But just because you commit somewhere, we both know that that's not the end-all, be-all. You can change – it's not official till you sign.
That's right.
So, then the season will come. And I think, for Auburn, the most important thing, and I said it on the podcast this morning, JJ, is that they win football games this year.
That's right.
Football game, they've been recruiting fine, but winning football games may push you over the edge with some of these guys that are sitting here going, I don't want to go to Auburn.
Nobody wants to go anywhere and lose. Nobody commits anywhere and goes, well, I'm probably going to, maybe I'll go to 2 bowl games in the next 4 years. Nobody does that.
Right.
So I think for Auburn, this is, we've talked about this, Andy and I, this is such an incredibly pivotal year for Auburn football because for 2 years now, been building the roster. You got a transfer quarterback with some talent, got a freshman quarterback with some talent. Now there has to be a return on those investments, and now is the time for it to show.
And I think for shut up time.
There's no doubt. That's why this summer, every time you see a list of coaches on the hot seat in the SEC, Hugh Freeze is going to be top 2 or 3 in that list because everybody knows what's at stake. This year has to show some return.
Yeah, and I think he knows that. I mean, I think he said that in the opening press conference in spring. He said, what are you wanting to do and get out of this coming in? He said, we got to win some football games now. Yeah. And I think people have been patient, and the mess he was left was a mess. And now there were some things that have happened over the last year or two. The La Monroe game and was it La Monroe? I think it's who it was. I can't even remember at this point. It was such disaster. 2 or 3 games where Auburn should have won the game. And then this past year was probably the worst. Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Cal. Probably should have won all 4 of those games.
Yep.
And you didn't because the offense was in disarray. You rode with the guy that you stuck with, Peyton Thorne, instead of going maybe and getting Cam Ward that was out on the market or whatever.
There were some questionable coaching decisions, clock management. I think at the end of a couple of games bit them. There's a lot of reasons, right? But it doesn't matter. All of those don't matter now because you got a chance to make it right. And when you look at the schedule, I mean, if you look, you got those back-to-back road games with Oklahoma and A&M. That's tough little road. Yeah, I expect Oklahoma to be a lot better than they were last year.
Well, they got a great quarterback. They got a great running back that's transferred in.
And I didn't see this offseason. Andy and I talked about this last week. I didn't see where Texas A&M made any moves this offseason that really made me go, wow, they're really going to be better. I didn't really see that.
Much out of A&M.
But they're still going to be good. They're not going to be bad. So those 2 games right there, and then after that you get Georgia. But after Georgia, there's 4 straight SEC games and 5 total games. You should win all of them, all 5 of them.
Right.
So if you get to 4-1 at that point, well, now you should be looking at a 9-3 season,
right?
Unless you win 1 or 2, you shouldn't, or lose 1 or 2, you shouldn't.
You're knocking on that door of getting in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you're at 9 wins in this conference, JJ, I mean, it wasn't good enough for Alabama. It wasn't good enough for Ole Miss.
Yep.
But it could, on any given year, be good enough, depending on who you beat and how all that kind of plays out.
And I think that's why, because of the way that schedule works, and because if you're just in a vacuum picking games,
right?
I think I look at Auburn, I go, okay, they could be 8-4, they could be 10-2. You know what I mean? So, and I think that's why.
Do this every time.
And that's why you see, like I thought this year coming in, I thought Auburn's window was 5 to 7 wins. They kind of finished about where I thought. On the lower end of where I thought. I thought they could go 7, maybe an 8. You pull something off. They didn't, but. I think the way the schedule lays out this year is part of the reason why Andy Staples releases his top 25 has Auburn at number 13.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because it's there for the taking, but you got to go get it.
Yeah, that's all based off potential.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, there were 2 or 3 games that Auburn. I said 4, maybe even 5 that they take, because the Auburn didn't get blown out last year in any game.
Yeah.
And they had leads late. I mean, there was no excuse for Oklahoma and Missouri.
Yeah.
And, like, you turned the ball over a boatload of times against Arkansas and Cal. Cal was not very good. You blew that as well. But at the end of the day, you should have been a winning football team. You should have had an opportunity to go to a bowl game.
That's right.
And you didn't do it. And so now you have to deal with the consequences and the carryover in. Your back is definitely against the wall now. And like you said, if you come out and you do the things that you're supposed to do, you'll have a chance to right the ship.
That's right. And then everybody, dusts themselves off and goes, okay, now we're back in contention in the SEC where the program belongs.
And I think, and I'll say this too, when you've been on a streak like Auburn where you've had a bunch of turnover and guys that, let's just be honest, didn't quite do what they need to do from a head coaching position, the culture at Auburn was broken. You guys have good talent. I think the roster was fine in some places. This team's got to learn how to win. And you saw this year they had games they should have finished.
Yeah.
They know how to win, JJ.
Yeah.
And that's part of sports, man. Some teams know how to win and cultures know how to win, some don't.
And sometimes coaching staff has to take control of that. There was, I think it was I'm sure it was the Oklahoma game. And at the end of that game, the last 5 minutes or so of that game, and you're like, why are you throwing it here? Why are you throwing it here?
Right. They haven't moved the ball.
And I understand it's an option system. Yeah, but there are times when you take an option away and you go, look, there's 5 minutes left. I got a manageable lead. As the hat says, run the damn ball, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah, sometimes we overthink things.
Yeah.
But I think that, again, goes back to what you said. There were some questionable coaching decisions.
Yep.
On the offensive side.
And it goes, as the talent gets better, I feel sure that you're going to see a coaching staff that worked a lot on late game management this offseason.
Right.
And I think, you should see some improvement there.
All right, we're just getting started here on the Auburn Blitz. A lot more to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Presley Appliance and Furniture, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, is locally owned and operated with over 35 years of experience in the appliance and furniture business. Specializing in Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Ashley Furniture, Presley Appliance services what they sell and will make sure you receive top-notch customer service. Call them today at 256-329-9762 or drop by to see them on Cherokee Road in Alexander City. Presley Appliance and Furniture, where they service what they sell.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes. They're installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind? Welcome to Bunkers. Our friendly staff and vibrant atmosphere make Bunkers the ultimate hangout space for all ages. With 6 state-of-the-art golf simulator stations, you can play around with friends no matter the weather. Enjoy mouth-watering food and a wide variety of handcrafted mixed drinks. With our attached parking deck, access is always hassle-free. Make your next night out unforgettable at Bunkers.
Adams Motorsports of Montgomery knows it's the best time to ride. Right now, get the best deals on all of our Suzuki and Kawasaki street bikes, side-by-sides, four-wheelers, and dirt bikes. Adams Motorsports has it all, and our inventory is vast. Get out there, ride the streets and trails, and let Adams Motorsports make your pleasure our business, with family customer service and service after the sale. It's time to ride, so come see us on Eastern Boulevard, Montgomery, or online at adamsmotorsports.com.
Here they come. Truckloads of fresh inventory to Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. Choose from a huge selection of full-size GMC Sierras, discounted up to $13,250 off. New GMC Terrains, the popular SUV known for its safety, technology, and performance, is discounted up to $7,500 off. Enjoy. No payments until July. People from all over the USA save at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. 45 minutes left in the show today, brought to you by Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation in Sensa Green. Appreciate all of their partnership with us here on the program. We're talking about really last year and then doing a little bit of preview of what we talked about with Tank Jones. Yesterday, I met with him at St. Paul's, and the top 10 to 15 guys in the state every year are very important. You're going to have some that leak out, 3 to 4, maybe 5, that go other places. But then you're going to have 10 of those that you think Auburn and Alabama both want, and want to try to get as many as they can to build their class. So let's look at Auburn and looking at positions. Basically where the 25 roster stands, and as you and I just talked about, JJ, Coach Freeze has done a great job of building this roster over the last couple of years. And, I said it this morning on the podcast, the guys that Auburn lost were not very crucial to this roster. The guys that they brought in are going to be crucial. Eric Singleton, Horatio Fields, Jackson Arnold, Xavier, Chaplin, Mason Murphy. Those are all quality pieces Auburn going to have to rely on.
Yep.
So the ends were a lot better than the outs for Auburn. So what does this roster look like as a whole? And Andy broke this down least to most experienced position. So at number 10 is your running back. So when you look at it from a start standpoint, 4 starts, 949 total snaps. 0 starts at Auburn. Average starts per player is 0.8. That's not ever a good number when you're looking at. Average snaps per player is 189.8. Most experienced player on the roster is a guy that has not ever touched the football at Auburn yet, and that's Darrell Robinson, the transfer from UConn. And so he had 4 starts at 391 snaps. You've got Damari Alston. You've got Jeremiah Cobb, and then you've got Darrell Robinson, and you got Alvin Henderson, who's a freshman that's coming in. A lot different look than what you had with Jarquez Hunter the last 2 or 3 years.
Where do you see Alvin Henderson fitting into this rotation? We're talking about the all-time leading rusher in Alabama high school football.
But I think it's a little deceiving. And I'll say this because he was playing at Elba, and, you're playing at a smaller classification, and a lot of times they just directly snapped it to him, let him go. That's how talented he is. He's a smaller guy. I think he's got, I think he's going to have to grow in this system. I don't think this is a guy that you can throw out there right now in SEC play and say, all right, go get it. This isn't 1A football in Alabama. This is SEC.
Right.
I think he had a good spring. I think Coach Freeze and the offensive coaching staff were very pleased with how much progress he made. And that's another benefit of enrolling early. Now you get to go through a spring. I saw him with my own two eyes. I thought he did really well in a lot of the drills and the one-on-one situations. But he's not going to be a guy that's ready to – is he going to play some this year? I definitely think he will. I think there'll be a role for him. But I think for the most part it's going to be the Damari Alston show with a mix of Darrell Robinson and Jeremiah Cobb. I think it's going to be running back by
a guy like Alvin Henderson, do you redshirt him or do you put him out there and let him return kickoffs?
Depends on what they see in the fall camp.
Yeah.
And how much more progress does he make from spring to fall? Again, the skill set's there. Maybe a little bit undersized. Maybe he finds his role.
There was a guy just drafted in the top 10 of the draft who's a little bit undersized, too. Ashton Genty's about 5'8.5".
Right. He ain't Ashton Genty size.
Yeah.
I said that he don't weigh what Ashton Genty weighs.
He's also 220, yeah.
Right. So, but that may come with time. You know, and I think he'll get like the old cliche, bigger, faster, stronger. All that's going to come in an SEC weight room. Plus, again, I'll use another kid, a top four guy. I think Auburn, Alabama both want, and he's from Wadley High School, right up the road from here. Jacquez Wilkes, 6'4", 220 pounds, looks the part. What does he do at Wadley? He pretty much lines up at running back.
Whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, lines up at running back. They hand him the ball, and he just runs over it like a bunch of bowling pins. On defense, he makes about every tackle. Again, when he gets out, wherever he ends up, it's going to be different for him.
Yeah.
And I think you saw some guys in the past say that when they come out of high school, even if they're playing for a big high school like a Thompson or something like that, the speed of the game is even different for them. So there's an acclimation period for all these guys.
I don't know if you watched the Pivot podcast at all, but Ryan Clark's podcast, but he was talking, they were talking about Derrick Henry. And said when Henry first got to college, a little 2A school in Florida.
That's right.
And so he just lined up at quarterback. They snapped him the ball and he ran
over everybody.
And he said that he was really, really struggling as a freshman in his first fall camp, just running the wrong way. Had never done pass.
He never had to really dodge anybody or try to find the right hole.
Had never had to pass block or anything like that.
He ran over his offensive lineman en route to running over the linebacker. So.
Said Saban came up to him one day and said, what's the matter with you? I can tell you're frustrated. He goes, Coach, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. Like in high school, they just handed me the ball and I ran.
That's right.
He's like, yeah, all right, just give it time.
I ended up working out pretty good for him. But I think that's a valid point that you see. Some of these guys, even the stature of Derrick Henry and how big he was coming out of high school, you don't just walk in and just, hey, man, you got to learn. It's a learning experience. It's a mental thing, too.
Yeah.
From trying to learn the playbook and knowing what your assignments are and all that kind of. I'm not taking shots at lower classification football.
No.
But the bottom line is when you only have 25 guys on a roster or 20 guys on a roster, you pretty much know, and if you're the best player in your class, not just on your team, your class, if you're not touching the ball 40 times a game, there's a problem.
Yeah.
And there is not a lot of strategy behind, all right, he's 6'4", 230 pounds, and the biggest linebacker across the way is 5'11" and weighs 175.
Right.
But we're just going to take our dominance and run over you.
Yeah.
You don't do that in the SEC.
No.
Even at Derrick Henry's side.
Yeah.
So it's not how it works. All right, up against our second break of the program. Stay tuned. A lot more to come right after this.
For air that's cool and clean, call Sensi Green. For air that's
Turn to the experts at Sensagreen and find out how to get up to $1,000 in carrier cool cash rebates. Visit sensagreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe. Call Sensagreen.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
Presley Appliance and Furniture, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, is locally owned and operated with over 35 years of experience in the appliance and furniture business. Specializing in Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Ashley Furniture, Presley Appliance services what they sell and will make sure you receive top-notch customer service. Call them today at 256-329-9762 or drop by to see them on Cherokee Road in Alexander City. Presley Appliance and Furniture, where they service what they sell.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply is your headquarters for all the brands contractors know best. We are your local home improvement store with 9 convenient locations throughout Central Alabama. We have a huge selection of Weber and Traeger, Pelican coolers, Milwaukee and DeWalt tools, and other top brands. No matter the project, we have you covered with our high-quality lumber and building supplies. From do-it-yourselfers to seasoned pros, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply has what you need to get the job done.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes. They're installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind? Welcome to Bunkers. Our friendly staff and vibrant atmosphere make Bunkers the ultimate hangout space for all ages. With 6 state-of-the-art golf simulator stations, you can play around with friends no matter the weather. Enjoy mouth-watering food and a wide variety of handcrafted mixed drinks. With our attached parking deck, access is always hassle-free. Make your next night out unforgettable at Bunkers.
J.A. Smith Construction, licensed general contractor and your trusted choice for land clearing and grading, site work, underground utilities, concrete paving, and material hauling. They also do storm drain installations, fish ponds, and slough dredging. Call Alexander at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. No job is too big or too small for J.A. Smith Construction, the top choice for all of your land service needs.
Chick-fil-A is always the best option when you're on the go, but they are also great when it comes to planning your next event, from tailgating to birthday parties to weddings. Call Chick-fil-A Alexander City at 256-289-7955 for catering, or order on the Chick-fil-A app. Make sure to choose the Alexander City location and have your catering order ready to go. Nugget trays, mac and cheese trays, fruit trays, cookie trays, gallons of our famous lemonade or tea, and chilled grilled chicken sub sandwiches, and a lot more options. Make it Chick-fil-A Alexander City for your next event.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Halfway through our show means it's time to talk about Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine, this time each and every day. Love talking about it, but hate talking about it at the same time because, man, I'm starving at this point in time.
Yeah.
And then I look down and I have to read all this off about how great the food is, and I can smell it through the screen here because I've had most of the stuff. But today is Wednesday, so you can go by and get grilled or blackened salmon or beef tips, and then you can get 2 sides to go with that for $17.99. And you know how great their sides are: homemade mac and cheese, sauteed green beans, steamed broccoli, asparagus, the veggie medley, potato salad, baked beans. I can read all this stuff off. The daily specials, man, are awesome, both Montgomery and Auburn. Go check them out in Auburn on East Glen. They got the best wine selection around, but these daily specials are phenomenal. But if you go back there to the meat section and you see Jeff, and you see those ribeyes, and you see those fillets, and you see those pork chops, and you see those ribs, and you see everything that they have, even the tuna steaks back there, it's unbelievable, and the prices are unbelievable as well. So go by Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine, both in Auburn and in Pepper Tree in Montgomery. You will not go wrong, trust me. And tomorrow, just as a preview, who doesn't like burgers? I mean, Thursday's burger special, $10.99. You get a choice of the steak burger, smash burger, or the Conecuh burger. Who don't like that?
Yeah.
Excuse my
I haven't had
language.
the Conecuh burger yet, but I really need one.
What are you waiting on?
I don't know. I don't get down across the bridge.
You need to get somebody to get that brought to you.
Yeah, I need to work on that.
The Conecuh burger is pretty daggum good. And I don't care what you say. When you mix Conecuh sausage and ground beef together, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah, there's no going wrong there. All right, let's go back to the position groups for Auburn. At linebacker is number 9. This is going from Auburn's least to most experienced positions in 2025 as the roster stands. Most experienced player also is a transfer. Caleb Wheatland, 12 starts, 881 snaps there at Maryland. But the total starts for the linebackers are at 15. Auburn lost Dorian Mausi, lost several guys in that linebacker core, and you're going to see Robert Woodyard step up, be the Mike backer. You're going to have, a couple other guys that were on the team last year are going to be getting stepped, but not a lot of starts for this group. Only 15 total starts for the guys that are coming back in this particular position group. So, but there's a lot of talent. DeMarcus Riddick, obviously coming back off being a true freshman, is going to be a phenomenal player this year and predicted to possibly even be all SEC.
In a perfect world, you'd love to have experience everywhere. If you're going to have any experience, running back and linebacker are two of the positions that, I can deal with a little inexperience there. Because there's a lot of instinct involved in playing running back and linebacker.
No doubt about it. So linebacker comes in number 9. 8 is the safety nickel position, but I'll tell you, I feel really good about the secondary. I'm not concerned at all. There's a guy that's way ahead of his time, and that's Anquan Fagans back there.
Oh, yeah.
Eric Winters from Enterprise. I watched him in spring. You're going to have a chance to have 2 freshmen subbing in and out back there at safety. You got Caleb Harris, who I thought was a tremendous player this past year. I mean, really vaulted his stock up.
Yeah.
But you got plenty of talent back there in the secondary, especially at the safety nickel position.
There's and let me say this too, and Andy, if you're watching, I'm not questioning your methodology here, but I think I would combine that with the corners, because to me, there's a lot of interchangeability in a secondary, especially when you get into the nickel position.
Right.
There's a lot of interchangeable parts. So I think you can cover up if you got some inexperience on one side, but you've got good talent and experience on the other. You can cover some things up. I think I would combine that position with the corners and just call it secondary because it all works in tandem there.
Yeah, cornerbacks, actually, we'll talk about that, one of the more experienced position groups on the roster. Coming in number 7 is tight end, and you lost Rivaldo Fairweather. Brandon Frazier is going to be the guy. Preston Howard is the most experienced of the group. He's another transfer. But Brandon Frazier has all the talent and potential in the world if he can stay healthy, and that's been his problem at that tight end position. So we'll see what's able to happen with that, but again, you're looking at a potential tight end room of adding maybe Perry Thompson, who is one of those talented receivers. It's a bigger receiver. And you see that hybrid type of guy now. You have a former offensive lineman that moves over to play tight end now as well in that position room. So there's some experience and some things there, but it may be a little unorthodox. And thought maybe Auburn would go out and maybe add another tight end in the portal. They haven't done that. Don't know that they will.
Yeah. And if you feel comfortable with your tight ends, star tight ends are hard to find, man. They don't happen very often.
Brandon Frazier has the chance to be a star tight end if he can stay healthy.
And what you're really looking for is just a guy who is a good enough blocker that he doesn't hurt your run game,
right?
With good enough hands to be a nice third down option. That's if you get more than that, then you're getting better than average.
Yeah, there are not a lot of Brock Bowers running around.
No.
So just the way it is. All right, we're going to take another break. We come back, we'll wrap up the roster breakdown, give you the top 6 position groups by experience. We'll come back. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
This is Joseph Dean with Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory. I am pleased to announce that Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is now open to serve the public at our location on the corner of 49 North and 280 West in Dadeville. Please stop by and see lifelong resident of Dadeville, Molly Kaler, who will be running the office and meeting with families who want to plan ahead and pre-need their services. We are also available by phone 256-750-0381 or online at lakemartinfuneralhome.com.
Bucks Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bucks Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bucksisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life. EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area. Are you ready to showcase your skills and compete with the best in Alabama? The 42nd Alabama State Games are coming to Birmingham and Jefferson County from June 13th through the 15th, and it's your chance to be part of something incredible. Athletes from across the state will compete in sports ranging from archery to wrestling, Those participating in the opening ceremony are eligible for academic scholarships ranging from $500 to $5,000. Mark your calendar. Registration opens March 1st. Visit allegames.com.
When you want quality, selection, price, superior financing, and a pain-free buying experience, look no further than Sons Automotive Group of Montgomery and Auburn. Sons of Montgomery offers the best selection of Kias, Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Ram trucks. Conveniently located on Eastern Boulevard, Sons Ford of Auburn is the region's Ford volume dealer. And when you shop at any Sons location, they will maximize all incentives and financing options for anyone's credit. Whether Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram in Montgomery, or Ford in Auburn, Sons Automotive treats you like family because they are family driven.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. A couple segments left on the show today. You can give us a call, 256-234-6221. Don't be shy. I mean, you can call if you want to. I know we're heading into a little bit of the off season when it comes to football, but you can still give us a call if you'd like. Have a question, comment, anything that you'd like to share. Let us know. You can obviously comment away here on social media, whether it be YouTube or Facebook. We'll take those comments. Predictions for AU UA this coming football season. John wants to know there. So
I haven't looked at it closely enough to make a prediction. I've got Auburn to anywhere from 6 to 9 wins, depending on how things go.
It better be on the higher end.
I just, I haven't looked at it. In the fall, we make our final predictions. I'll make
That's
a
right.
prediction.
What about Alabama? Just off the top of your head, what are you?
Eight returning starters on defense is a help. Don't know what they have at quarterback yet. So
are you a little concerned about Ty Simpson?
It depends on what you mean by concerned.
Well, what we've seen of Ty Simpson.
I think he will fit the offense better than Jalen Milroe did. I don't think they'll have to change the offense as much for him. That being said, I don't know what his talent level is, right? How really talented is he? I think if he wins the starting job, and it looks like he is, I think he'll be a pretty good quarterback. Question is, can he be better than pretty good? Because in the SEC, you really need a quarterback that's better than pretty good.
I agree with that.
And if I'm leaning Alabama, anywhere from 7 to 10, somewhere in there.
7 to
wins.
10. Okay. 6 to 9 for Auburn, 7 to 10 for Alabama. If it's on the lower end for Alabama.
Yeah, that's trouble.
Trouble in Little China there, too.
No question.
I mean, I hate to be that way, but coming off of a non-postseason berth, which they're not used to that in Tuscaloosa.
Going to be a lot of noise around Kalen DeBoer if he doesn't find a way into the playoffs this year.
Is Kalen DeBoer, like you said, immediate right now? It's Hugh Freeze, Billy Napier, some of those guys, and rightfully so. The pressure is to get this thing turned around.
Yep.
Thought Billy Napier ended the season well.
Absolutely.
Maybe took a little bit of didn't know that he's going to make it through the season.
Yeah.
And there for a while, and then DJ Lagway comes in and. Man, that guy is on the top short list for Heisman next year.
He should have a really good year.
So maybe a little. Their schedule's still really tough, but man, a lot of people are like, why didn't Lagway just start?
Not nearly as bad as last year.
No, it's not.
Well, because Napier made this mistake of I'm going to go with Mertz, and then I'm going to rotate, but I'm not going to rotate. I'm not going to leave a guy in if he's hot. I'm going to give him this many series.
Just make a decision.
Just make a decision. Pick a quarterback.
And then him getting hurt forced him to play Lagway, which saved his job.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
So I think in the immediate future is Freeze and Napier, maybe maybe Sam Pittman. I don't know. I mean, I think Arkansas is in a situation.
Look, if you want to find a coach that is right there on the verge of getting fired, look at Lexington, Kentucky.
I think that's played out.
I think
it's played its way out.
I think Mark Stoops, when a couple of years ago when it looked for all the world like he was headed to Texas A&M.
Right.
I think he mentally checked out right then. I'm headed to A&M, and then it didn't happen. And I don't think he's been kind of into it since then.
You know, Kentucky fans have always been like, who else we going to get? Well, you know, and the world's changed now. You know, who would have thought Auburn and Alabama's basketball program would be better the last 5 years in Kentucky? But it has been.
Yep.
You know, so everybody's mentality's changed where Kentucky goes, no, we can be good in football too.
Kentucky went, 2-6 in the league last year? That's not going to cut it. Now, I'm not saying you got to be.
Well, and he's been there for a long time. He's the longest tenured guy in the SEC. But even with that being said, people are like, okay, we better start getting back to winning some football games or we're going to go find somebody
3 or 4 years ago, you were thinking, well, look, Kentucky's winning 8-9 games, might win 10. Nobody is looking at Kentucky now thinking they're an 8-9-10 win.
Nobody's looking at them that way. They're going back toward the bottom of the conference.
But to answer your question on Kalen DeBoer, I think anything less than a playoff appearance this year, and Kalen DeBoer goes on the hot seat list for next year.
I totally agree. I mean, it's the way of the world.
But look, don't feel bad for him. He knew that when he took the job.
No, well, I told you that back when. I said, it doesn't matter who it is that's following Nick Saban.
Yeah.
There's going to be a level of pressure and a level of expectation you probably aren't going to meet. I mean, let's just be honest about it.
99.9%.
I mean, I hate to say it, but it was Ron Zook following Steve Spurrier.
Yeah.
You know,
well, and you know how it is too, because your memory makes things better than it was.
It's
right.
Ray Perkins
If
following
you're an Alabama fan, Saban never lost a game. 17 years, man. He went undefeated. Well, no, he lost plenty of games, right? He had some bad losses.
I don't know if he lost plenty, but he lost some.
But he had some bad losses along the way.
He did.
You forget about those, right? And the positive sort of. So now you're not only competing against what he actually did,
right?
You're competing against the memory of it, which is even greater.
That's right. So. And the further away from that you get, and if you're not having success, the hotter the seat. The hotter the rear end becomes.
Big year for that.
So no doubt about it. No doubt about it. But, you know, the guy won 9 games last year. He's the first coach in Alabama history to go win 9 games his first year, and nobody cared.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like, don't throw that at me.
Look, it's a big year for a lot of guys. I think it's a big year for Steve Sarkisian. I thought last year was kind of his year to win it all. And he didn't get it done. Now he's got a Manning at quarterback.
Yeah, right. It's going to be.
And I think he's going to have Arch for 2 years. You better find a way to put that ring on at some point.
Yeah, there's pressure because you're not worth the crap, and then there's pressure because you are really good and you better come through.
That's right.
You know, and it's opposite ends of the spectrum, but it's still the same pressure.
Same pressure.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what side you're on. And, you want to be on the higher end side, though, for sure. All right, I promise we'll finish the roster when we get back. We never even got to it.
We got sidetracked.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of coaching stuff going on, and we answered the comments, so we did the best we could in 12 minutes.
There you go.
Right. All right, up against the final break of the show. One final segment right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction, licensed general contractor and your trusted choice for land clearing and grading, site work, underground utilities, concrete paving, and material hauling. They also do storm drain installations, fish ponds, and slough dredging. Call Alexander at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. No job is too big or too small for J.A. Smith Construction, the top choice for all of your land service needs.
For air that's cool and clean, call Senza Green. For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Senza Green.
Turn to the experts at Senza Green and find out how to get up to $1,000 in carrier cool cash rebates. Visit sensagreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Senza Green.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama. Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Are you ready to showcase your skills and compete with the best in Alabama? The 42nd Alabama State Games are coming to Birmingham and Jefferson County from June 13th through the 15th, and it's your chance to be part of something incredible. Athletes from across the state will compete in sports ranging from archery to wrestling. Those participating in the opening ceremony are eligible for academic scholarships ranging from $500 to $5,000. Mark your calendar. Registration opens March 1st. Visit allagames.com. Welcome back, everyone. Final segment here on the Auburn Blitz. Again, thanks to Russell Dewitt Center and Building Supply Stores and J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation and Sensor Green for their partnership here on the program, allowing us to do this each and every day. All right, defensive end edge rusher is the 6th most experienced position group. Not bad. You got Keldrick Falk coming back.
You got a guy who could potentially be a big-time edge rusher in the SEC this year.
Yeah, I totally agree.
A first-round draft pick type talent.
Yeah, he's in the top 6 for odds-on favorite to be the #1 overall pick this year's draft. Wide receiver, man, 5th most experienced. You got Eric Singleton coming over in the transfer portal along with Horatio Fields, but, boy, you talk about a loaded group.
Yep. And you want that. You need that. You know, you got good young guys. You got good transfer guys. You know, you got to feel great about it.
Right. Defensive tackle, we're thin in spring as far as numbers. But the returning, and I like this, I like to see that my offensive line, defensive line are going to be in the top 4 in my most experienced groups on the team. And defensive tackle comes in. You got James Ash. That transferred from Florida A&M, 22 starts. He's got 1,051 snaps at that position. He'll be a piece. He's not going to be a starter, but he'll be a piece. But, you know, you add in Malik Alter and then Malik Blockton, who started last year, and some of these guys, Jameson Travis, you got some depth now, and you got some quality guys with some starts under the belt. So, quarterback comes in number 3. It's hard to believe, but it's through the transfer portal that jumps that up there. Ashton Daniels comes in, and then, of course, Jackson Arnold, and then you've got Deuce Knight, who has no snaps. But when you average that out, it looks like Auburn may sign the Troy quarterback. Again, it's odd kind of how they got to that, but you want 4 quarterbacks in your room.
You do.
And he's experienced. Now, what does that mean? Probably not a lot of nothing, other than helping with preparation and getting your guys ready. But he's a quality guy that got some starts last year. His first start was at Iowa. Last year, he threw a 60-yard touchdown pass.
And you just don't know when you're going to have one of those years where you're down to your third or fourth quarterback. It's happened.
Yeah, let's just hope it ain't this year.
Yeah.
All right, cornerback comes in at 2. You and I talked about that just a minute ago. This is one of the better cornerback rooms in the whole country. And you had Rayon Strader, and then you have –
And I think that more than offsets the lack of experience at safety because I think those parts are a little bit interchangeable.
They are. But Jay Crawford comes back. I mean, you got some guys that really are some studs back there that can play. Offensive line's your number one most experienced
All right,
group.
so here was where I was going to chime in because no more excuses. No more excuses.
Not now.
Because now I'm going to, coaching staff, don't tell me 4 games in, well, we still, we're not where we need to be on the offensive line. No. It's your most experienced unit. You've had 3 years. If you hadn't brought any in, that's on you. This is,
if you
no
ain't
more
developed the ones you got, that's on you. That's
no more excuses. It's the most experienced unit on the team. There is no excuse for Auburn not having at least a very decent offensive line.
No, I totally agree with that. And then you add pieces like Xavier Chaplin, who is a stud offensive tackle from Virginia Tech. More than likely was the number 1 offensive lineman in the portal.
Yep.
Auburn goes out and gets that one. Go out and get Mason Murphy from Southern Cal, who's probably going to start at right tackle. Then you got true depth along the way. You got Dylan Wade. He's going to be playing one of the guards. You got Jeremiah Wright. He's been there 4 years, going to be playing one of the guards. You got one of the better centers in the league, Connor Lew. I mean, they're all there.
Yeah.
Pieces are there, man.
Yeah.
Plus, you had quality depth in the portal and go out and get 2 or 3 more guys. So it's the way it is. And so you're right. Pretty much sums it up. All right. Anything else you want to add?
I was just like I said, to me, it is set up for Auburn to have something of a breakthrough year. How much of what is a breakthrough? I don't know. But I think
better be 8.
I think the minimum is 7. I think
better be 8.
I think it's 6 and 6, and we're packing stuff up.
Yeah, some people moving.
Yeah, but I think breakthrough 8 or 9.
Can you beat somebody you're not supposed to beat too and get over that hump?
Yeah.
That's another key. Is this team good enough? Will they be playing good enough football? To win a game against Georgia or Alabama. Let's just be honest about it. That's 2 you point to. I think everybody else on the schedule is beatable. And I think Alabama at home is a winnable game for Kalen DeBoer in year 2.
Yeah.
And not having Jalen Milroe back. And, there's some questions. And who knows what either team's going to look like week 12.
Yeah. Well, and I think if you want to look at some things, first half of the season, first 6 games, there's 3 games on there that one road trip to Baylor. I know we're gonna
stub your toe there.
I know we're gonna get to August. Everybody's gonna go, well, it's Baylor. They'll win that.
No,
one.
but you better not
stop
stub your toe.
because Baylor can play football, and you go out there. That's a tough opener, and then the back-to-back Oklahoma, Texas A&M on the road. Those are 2. You win those 3, and big things start to open up.
You come home with a lot of momentum with Georgia rolling.
That's right. You lose 2 of those, and now we're getting a little nervous. So I think Auburn's got to win 2 of those.
Yeah.
And it would help a lot to win 3, but got to win 2 of those.
All right, to close out, because it is Wednesday, Braves are 10-5 in their last 15 games, 8-2 in the last 10. So they, after a horrific start.
0-7 to start the season.
Awful.
They are now 14-15. And about an hour and 15 minutes away from
seeing if they
a chance to sweep Colorado on the road.
Okay, they should.
Took 2 out of 3 from the D-backs on the road.
If there was somebody worse than them at that point in time, it was the Rockies.
And the interesting thing is, I read this to you earlier, the Braves since April the 18th, 3rd in Major League Baseball in batting average, 3rd in on-base percentage, and 3rd in runs scored. So the offense has picked it up, and the pitching has continued to be pretty solid. So now they're starting to look again like a team that maybe is getting it on track.
Mets look pretty tough.
Yeah, but the Mets always look.
Yeah, I know.
It's not June yet.
No, they'll fall.
Yeah, give them June.
Yeah, that's right. We'll see what happens.
I will never believe in the Mets until I'm watching the confetti.
Yeah, don't tell that to Frank the Tank.
Ever.
He's already emotional. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun. Good to see you, JJ, as always. Have a good time being on the program with you. We'll be back with everyone same time, same place tomorrow. Also podcast at 8 o'clock every morning. Make sure you tune us in there on YouTube and Facebook. For JJ, I'm Brett saying we've enjoyed it. We'll be happy to see you next time.